Welcome again to Eye on the Tigers News. I'm Abby Garrett.
And I'm Andrea Ross. We're glad you joined us for the news we've been watching for you. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he will travel to Washington to speak before the U.S. Congress next month despite calls to cancel his speech. His remarks Monday at an election rally come amid an uproar over his planned speech about Iran before Congress next month. House Speaker John Boehner extended his invitation without discussing it beforehand with the White House. That angered President Obama's administration. Netanyahu said despite the differences in opinion, U.S. relations remain strong.
President Barack Obama is expected as early as Tuesday to ask Congress for new war powers, sending Capitol Hill his blueprint for an updated authorization for the use of military force to fight the Islamic State group. Haggling then begins on writing a new authorization to battle the Sunni extremists who have seized territory in Iraq and neighboring Syria and imposed a violent form of Sharia law. That will lead to the first war vote in Congress in 13 years, one of the most important votes faced by members of the House and Senate.
Kayla Mueller, a 26-year-old American woman held by Islamic State militants, has been confirmed dead, her parents in the Obama administration said Tuesday. Mueller was working for a humanitarian agency when she was taken hostage. The White House said that Mueller's family received a private message from her captors over the weekend. The information in the message was authenticated by the U.S. intelligence community. President Barack Obama said that Mueller, who has worked with Syrian refugees, quote, epitomized all that is good in our world, end quote.
Fighting in eastern Ukraine intensified on Tuesday ahead of much-anticipated peace talks, with both sides claiming significant advances and the government accusing the rebels of shelling a town far behind the front lines. The intense fighting, which the UN says has killed more than 5,300 people since last April, comes ahead of a crucial summit involving Western leaders on Wednesday, as well as peace talks later Tuesday.
One of the most liberal states in the country is also one of the most passionate about defending the right to bear arms, a fact that is coming to the fore following proposed legislation to expand background checks and add other gun regulations. Hundreds of Vermont residents are expected to pack the State House chamber for a public hearing Tuesday night on Senate Bill 31, which would expand background checks from retail to private gun sales, step up reporting about people deemed psychologically unfit to have a gun, and add state jurisdiction to what is now federal enforcement of the ban on convicted felons possessing guns.
There's little doubt that we're well equipped to handle the largest of snowstorms. After this winter, our friends in New England may become experts as well. A relentless storm that dumped more than 2 feet of snow on some parts of New England was finally expected to wind down on Tuesday, but not before bringing the Boston area public transit system to its knees and forcing some communities to consider dumping piles of snow into the ocean to help relieve clogged streets. The storm on top of 2 others that hit recently has shattered snowfall records for a 30-day period in the city.
Here's Asen Foltz with a look at the forecast that can only make you wish that spring is coming.
Long johns may be the best fashion advice you can give before we move to the end of the week. The coldest air of the season is just 48 hours away, as an Arctic cold system dips into much of the country, dropping our temperatures well below zero beginning Thursday night. In the meantime, we can expect some relatively calm weather today, with temperatures in the lower 20s, with a flurry or 2 this evening. On Wednesday, we could see some limited times of sun, with temperatures lingering more toward normal at 30 degrees. On Thursday, things could really change. We'll start out with some snow showers, which could bring as much as 4 or 5 inches, ahead of bitterly cold temperatures. We'll be lucky on Friday to get out of the negative numbers. The cold will last into the weekend. Forecasters are calling for a high of -1 for Sunday. Bundle up and bunker down. It's going to be a tough few days.
Let's bring in Sarah Petricola for a look at the news in sports.
Mexico's swimmers and divers will compete in sectionals beginning with diving tonight and swimming events on Thursday. Mexico is hosting the event. Junior Noah Galuzzo is favored to win the diving meet. Both boys and girls basketball teams host Chittenango tonight in an unusual doubleheader. The boys tip off at 5, followed by the girls' senior night. Both teams need the win to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Yukon Huskies women's team will have to wait a week before they officially move back into the #1 spot on the poll. They left no doubt who the best team in the country was on Monday, turning the showdown with the top-ranked South Carolina into an 87-52 rout. Local product, Brianna Stewart, led the way in a double-double, which included 21 points. And finally, football fans can thank Ed Sable for how the NFL was watched by millions of fans. The founder of NFL Films passed away Monday. He was 98. Sable was an innovator in how his company would shoot games and add music, real-time sound, and slow motion that gave games a theater-like quality.
Here's Alyssa with a peek at what's on the calendar.
The French Club is conducting their annual flower sale for Valentine's Day. Red, pink, and white carnations are on sale for $2. Flowers will be delivered to your friends and loved ones the morning of February 13th with a message card. Please see a French Club member today to purchase your flowers in advance. The junior versus senior boys volleyball game will be on March 4th at 6 in the high school gymnasium. The winner of the match will then go on to play a group of teachers in a second match that evening. If you still want to sign up, please see Miss Dady. Those students interested in showing off their talent should sign up for the 36th annual variety show. You can do that by signing up with Mrs. Bush. And finally, the Board of Education will hold its monthly meeting beginning at 6 at the Mexico Elementary School.
And finally today, we've got Nathaniel with our history lesson.
On this day in history, in 1763, France ceded Canada to England under the Treaty of Paris, which ended the French and Indian War. In 1846, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, began an exodus west from Illinois. In 1949, Arthur Miller's play Death of a Salesman opened on Broadway. In 2005, North Korea boasted publicly for the first time that it possessed nuclear weapons. And in 2007, Senator Barack Obama announced that he would run for the presidency.
Thanks again for joining us. For the staff of Eye on the Tigers, I'm Andrea Ross.
And I'm Abby Garrett. Have a great day.